So I don't know why, but James Gunn has been on an absolute, media rampage as of late, doing so much different work. It doesn't even seem like he's doing promotional work for Creature Commandos. This dude will literally do an interview where they ask him 1,000 questions that's not related to his new show, and he'll just flat out answer them with all honesty. And one that he gave us recently that I thought was really, really interesting and cool to see is, of course, the reports that James Gunn contemplated bringing Robert Pattinson into the DCU, with him saying, "But I'm committed to both telling stories in the DCU and Elseworld stories. I want the freedom to tell Elseworld stories." Again, I think every Batman fan who has especially seen The Penguin is definitely pretty happy that we are not going to be getting Batman in the DCU, because as much as we want the DCU to, of course, do really well and be a massive success, we don't need or want the Batman in the DCU. It just doesn't make any sense, especially with the tone of the Batman being pretty dark and pretty gritty. It doesn't seem to really go hand in hand with what James Gunn's lighter take of the DCU looks like it's going to be. And again, we know the Batman in that looks like it's probably going to be a lighter take as well. Again, that wasn't the only thing he, of course, did say. He actually said that Dave Bautista no longer wants to portray Bane in the new DCU. He said he thinks Dave would rather portray a different character. And again, a ton of people in the comment section were, of course, pointing out Hugo Strange, who I definitely could see Dave Bautista playing Hugo Strange, and I think be a damn menacing one at that. Again, for those of you who didn't see, Dave Bautista has lost a ton of weight. It looks like he's actively gotten off whatever the hell The Rock has been on for 100 million years. The secret sauce, the secret juice, whatever Arnie was pumping back in the day. It doesn't look like Bautista's on that anymore. He's actually a skinny lad and doesn't look like he could be Bane. He just flat out doesn't look like he could be Bane anymore. Even if they put a bodysuit on him, I don't know. I just don't think it would really make sense anymore. He doesn't seem to want to do it as well. Obviously, James Gunn pointing it out. But he seems like he does want to play another Batman character. And considering Hugo Strange is a bald dude with a beard, a ton of people have been already drawing that comparison as well. And look, I'm all for it. I would love to see these lesser known Batman villains really start to get a lot more screen time and a lot more, I think, action in the movies. And with James Gunn's DCU being much more fantastical, as we know, and he's probably going to be having Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy and all of those fantastical characters and whatnot in there, I think you could probably do a realistic Hugo Strange. But the fact is, if he does go into the DCU and we can have a pretty crazy Hugo Strange out there that does some kind of unrealistic shit to people or whatever it might be, I think Dave Bautista would actually be a really cool guy for that. And I think that, again, as I just said, seeing those more underused characters start to be in Batman film, like a potential Court of Owls in the new one, a Hush in the new one as well, those being the Robert Pattinson's one, and the more certain fantastical characters like maybe a Clayface being a James Gunn Batman movie, or his own separate movie as well, which I've reported could potentially be happening on the channel. Again, it's all interesting, and I think it's all cool, and I'm very excited to see how he does go about this. So James Gunn and the team at DC continue to cook, with more news coming out and a new confirmed movie that we've already touched on a little bit on this channel, but the fact that this movie is now confirmed, I should say, and that is the Clayface project, is absolutely insane. And we're getting it before a Batman movie in the DCU, but it does say that DC Studios CEO James Gunn confirms that the Clayface film will officially debut in theaters in 2026. Exciting news out of DC official studios today, as Clayface, a DC story from a script by Mike Flanagan, has been officially greenlit. Clayface premieres in 2026. 2026. Again, not only did we get that, but the Dynamic Duo animated film has been confirmed for the 30th of June, 2028. Now, I believe the Dynamic Duo film isn't officially confirmed to be DCU. I think there's been a lot of theories that that will actually be a project outside of the DCU, very similar to the Jurassic Park kind of animated film of DC Justice League. I think it's called, I can't even remember, Jurassic League or some shit. I don't know. We talked about it on the channel before, but that apparently is not in the DCU. That is just a little fun Elseworlds animated project I think James Gunn is making to try and get more kids into DC and all of that type of stuff. So very, very good idea from them. But let's talk about this Clayface movie, because there's a lot of other things that we got confirmed. Again, Matt Reeves is reportedly producing the film as well, which is super surprising considering the fact that Matt Reeves is really behind on all the other Batman projects he's doing. Again, there's rumors online the Batman Part 2 could be getting delayed yet again to 2027, and if it is October 2027, that will be 5 years since the first one and 2 years since it was supposed to actually come out in theaters. So I don't know if that's going to be true, but James Gunn did also say that a script draft hasn't even been completed yet, which is, oh my god, such a concern considering this movie should probably be started filming in like half a year, and they don't even have an actual draft of a script yet, let alone an actual script. So what's going on there? We really don't know, but I can tell you that Matt Reeves will officially be producing this Clayface film with Flanagan or Flanagan. I think there's a couple of different ways I've heard his name pronounced online. Also, Gunn and Saffron are producing this film, and apparently the budget will reportedly have, it will be only $40 million, but it will be a horror film, which, again, this makes so much sense, man, because 40 million, people don't realize that you don't need a movie to be 200 to 300 million dollars to be good. Again, the reason most of these movies are like 200 to 300 million dollars now is because like 90% of them are CGI. You look at Avatar being nearly all completely CGI. You look at the new Gladiator movie, you actually don't understand how much CGI was put in that movie until you watch some of like the potential behind the scenes and stuff like that, and you realize that most of it is just actors with sometimes sets, but also if the set isn't designed by someone, it's not only CGI, or it was computer animated and then used as like a backdrop, which we've been seeing stuff like The Mandalorian and things do. But a Clayface movie, the rumors of him actually turning into a big sludge monster, I think will actually happen, because in reality, why he will turn into a big sludge monster is because DCU is going to be more out there. It's going to be more fantastical and whatnot. But also, they can do that in a $40 million budget. And the reason I say they can do that in a $40 million budget is because I believe 90% of the film will most likely not be CGI. It will most likely be like a typical horror movie. Everything will be actually happening. Again, the film is apparently going to paint Clayface as like a good guy who just, you know, winds up doing a bad thing, which is kind of what Clayface is. He's an actor who, realistically, you know, he wants to get his face back up. He wants to start looking good again, like all actors do in real life. And he takes something, and something happens to him, obviously, and his face starts turning into clay. And then on, in most, you know, things of Clayface, his not only face starts turning like clay, but his whole body turns into a big clay mess, which I think we'll eventually see in the movie. I don't know for how long, but again, the Venom movie was like a budget of $70 million, and that, you know, had him turning into Venom for a lot of the film. It was like at least 10% of the film, probably a little bit more even, he was Venom, or there were symbiotes on screen, probably like 15%. This Clayface movie, again, the first half, we probably won't see him turn into Clayface. It'll probably be like the next half. And yeah, the first half, we'll slowly start to see his face or something droop down. I'm not too sure, but this is definitely achievable in a $40 million budget. And it's going to be a horror film. It's going to be so awesome. I'm super excited to see this because not only is DC looking like it's going to have animated projects, live action, you know, comedies, drama, action, all of the above, but it looks like we're getting some horror stuff in Clayface and Swamp Thing. This is going to be really awesome in my opinion. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Are you guys excited for the new Clayface movie? Do you guys think James Gunn and, you know, Flanagan are going to cook or whatever? Again, I'd very much like to hear all your thoughts and opinions. But again, if you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.